Over two different ways to convert your raw images, which is the best practice for doing photogrammetry, is to first start out shooting raw and then convert them to a format that Agisoft Metashape accept, which is a raw format called DNG, which is digital negative. It's Adobe's raw format, or we can also export them as TIFFs. The two programs that we're going to use to do this are Photoshop and Adobe's DNG Converter. We'll first start off using the DNG Converter. And this converter is a free utility that you can download from Adobe's website, and we also have it on our lab computers. So just go to the folder where the raw images are stored, which should be in your project folder. And you have to, in the hierarchy, just select the folder, not within the folder, the images. So I'm going to select that. So you can see here, I selected the folder. We're going to save it in the same location. You can put the name of the file name here, and you can have it increased by like a number. So this could be raw conversion, and you can have a serial number here, and so you could put by date or number. So we'll do that. You can name it at 1. You can change that. The file extension will be, of course, .dng. You can change the preferences of the raw camera, and we'll just keep it at 12.4 in this case, and everything else remains the same. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the conversion. And this process is pretty fast, and you can see here it's converting. So converted all of them, so it's already done. So if we then go into Metashape, try to load the Nikon raw images. You can see you're not allowed to, as it's not an acceptable format at this time for Metashape, but you can see here it will accept Adobe's raw format DNG, so we can go ahead and load these up. And you can add these photos to the program, and it works just fine. Okay, in comparing the file size, which is interesting, so the raw file size of the Nikon format is 27.4 megabytes. And the DNG is a little bit smaller, which is 22 megabytes, which that's nice to save on disk space since these projects are so big. After making the conversion, you then can go and delete these because this is all also in raw format. Okay, for the next example, we're going to use Photoshop. And we're going to use the image processor. So you go to Scripts, go to File, Scripts, Image Processor. Also select Folder. We're going to go to the same folder we were just at, the raw conversion. We're going to save, in this case, since TIFF is the best exported format overall, that's the one you want to choose typically in doing photogrammetry. So you check that, and also it's best to check the LZW compression and leave the run action and these other things alone. So you just click that, and now Adobe is going to run through and convert these images to TIFFs, and it'll create a new TIFF folder within your project folder, which now shows up right here. And so it's building these. The Photoshop method is it takes longer. You can easily see compared to the DNG converter. So I would say at this time in converting your images to get ready for use in Metashape, I would advise that you use the Adobe DNG Converter utility rather than using Photoshop. But there could be a reason that you would want to use TIFFs instead, and as a class it might be interesting to see what the advantages of using a TIFF versus the DNG within Metashape. But I would suggest using the DNG Converter. It's faster and also the file size is smaller. You can see here the TIFFs are a little bit bigger, about 3 megabytes compared to the DNG conversion.